thing that I did not update. All right. You ready for this? Now the time and with the camera. Things are a little chaotic as it usually is when you're doing making things with your kids, but nevertheless, we are here and because this is one of the pieces of the revolution that I am the most passionate on. Yesterday or last week's conversations, this week's conversation, these are the two that I have the value. The one I'm not really needs to change for our relationship. But settle in with me as we prepare for the new paradigm shift. I'm going to start by saying this. Love is not what you think. It's not sexy. It's not that warm, fuzzy, like feel good, adoration, warmness. It's not our closeness. It's not attraction. It's not the feeling of belonging. It's also not giving of yourself for someone else, right? It's love is not a responsibility. Love is not a commitment. Love is also not just being able to stay in this frequency of deep compassion and unattachment to, who another person is or how they're behaving, such that you are able to just be undisturbed and accepting of all of who they are. Right? That I just love you. I just love you. It's all love, no matter what. All love, right? Hippie kind of vibe. That's not any of this. Not either. This misunderstanding about what love really is and what our relationships are here to do for us in our lives, I think is core to the struggle and the suffering that so many people experience, the unhappiness that they experience in their relationships. And if our relationships are going to improve in a meaningful and lasting way, we are going to have a chance to unlock the true power and potential of our love and connections, then our collective understanding of what love really is and what love and relationships are truly here for in our lives must change. And that's what we are beginning to do. Welcome to another Catalyst conversation for our relationship. Here, we disrupt the old stories of love, power, and partnership, and we activate new ways of leading relationships consciously, courageously, differently. Right? Say better. And this month, we're talking about the relationship revolution itself. My mission. This is a mission. This is a mission and a movement that intends to enable healing and expansion through the power of love and conscious relationships. The relationship revolution is a return from separation into a paradigm shift in the way that humanity relates, how we love, and how we lead ourselves, starting at the most intimate level. Right? There are 5 shifts that I believe are essential to revolutionizing our relationships. The first shift we talked about at the beginning of this month is the shift from me versus you to an us paradigm. And last week we talked about the second shift, which is the shift from blame, pointing fingers, to what we call empowered accountability, which is essentially ownership of your parts of the problem. But not like it's your fault. That was like that's coming up. That's often what I want to talk about empowered accountability. Watch that episode because it'll take you through some of the today also highlights. Think about what empowered accountability is. Lead ourselves in relationships. How we can be part of the solution. Um, we're getting into like this third shift. And it is again, it's a shift in our fundamental understanding of what love is, modern relationships are for. When we misunderstand what modern relationships are for, what happens is we keep doing things that we think are love, but result in unintentional like betraying of ourselves or of our relationships. When we don't understand what love and relationships are really here for in our lives, we have these expectations and these beliefs, these hopes and dreams and ideas that 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 are often fall short, so that we don't know how to achieve because we're missing the lots of things. It's so right. So there's a mismatch. We're not able to get what it is that we really desire in our relationship. We don't really understand like what it is we're supposed to be doing. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm sharing. For those of you who may be new to me or this work, I want to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jen. I call myself a shift. So I've been calling myself a relationship. I love that because it's very disruptive energy, and I'm a disruptive intelligence. And the rebel and desires to tear down what is. But I realized recently that I'm doing so much more than just tearing down what is. I am here to support rebuilding something better. And so my energy is not rebel energy. There's an edge. It's revolutionary. Like, so I shifted. Not the relationship rebel anymore. That got me here. Now I'm stepping into the relationship revolution. My new self-inclusion. Tell me what you think. The relationship revolution. And it's because I truly believe that our world desperately needs a new way of doing living. One that supports greater happiness and greater potential and expansion of consciousness. We all feel the true potential of love and relationship, and yet some people are reaching. So I mission relationship. My business is powerful, and I started this business with my partner. So all of the work that I'm doing, I channel through powerful meditation. I am a relational expert. I'm a master's in therapy. I'm an empowerment expert. I'm an intuitive accountability guy. I'm also a speaker. What I desire to do is to unlock a new level of consciousness around power, around connection on a quantum. And I do this not by fixing people. There's nothing wrong with you or your partner, your relationship, or any of those. I do this by helping to expose what's not working and to bring into awareness critically conscious, empowered relational leadership, these new paradigm shifts. So in our work, we offer private mentorship, group coaching, consulting, retreats, digital courses, speaking engagement, a lot of free content that I share that supports this revolution, the improvements, the upgrades that actually work that you want to see in the relationship. So if you are looking to save or transform your marriage, if you're looking looking to improve yourself as a partner or as a relational leader, or if you just want to feel more empowered and fulfilled in the relationship that you have, please reach out. I'm happy to share more about the work that we do and how. At the end of this conversation, I'm going to share more about our relationship revolution, as well as an upcoming 6-week relationship transformation acceleration program, formerly called Catalyst, and I started to change the name to flagship program. It is an extension of our flagship program. That it is itself the Catalyst for massive change. I'm bringing it back, but in a more accelerated, intensive, accessible way. And if you want to help us to activate and accelerate this global movement, please make sure that you comment, that you like, and that you subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. Share about our work in the world. Attend our events, and of course, do your part to continue leading with love. Take what you're learning here. Become your relationship. Love. Thank you for being a part of the relationship revolution. Are you ready? The actual episode? So here in this week, right, we're redefining love, shifting our understanding about what love is. And the first thing I want to say is that a lot of people assume that love is supposed to feel good. Like if you love me, you will behave in ways that make me feel good, that make me feel comfortable, that make me feel safe, that make me feel well, loved. Because our vocabulary around the ideas of love is horrible. We need like way more work. That's what I think. That's not what love is actually. Work, no what love is. There's another word for that feel good feeling of like investment and attention. Called effective engagement. So what we most people think of as love is not how I define love. Is not what I believe love really is. And it's not what our relationships need when we think about love. But the way that you're loving or being loved, right, prioritizes comfort, both feel good. And that includes, avoidance or peace at any cost or inauthenticity or just accepting and allowing that which is not in everyone's best interest. That's not love doing its job, friends. That is the idea of love being misused as a cover for fear, as a path of least resistance. So the shift in this paradigm shift, if I could consolidate what the third shift is, this is the shift from comfort to comfort. That's what love is. Let me tell you how I define it. Not poetic. This is an operational definition. This is an instructional definition. So, love is the willingness to consciously respond for the highest good and spiritual love of everyone. Love is the willingness to consciously respond for the highest good and spiritual growth of everyone involved, even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or challenging, even, especially when it would be easier not to, when you don't freaking want to. But that way, that's love. That is what love is about. to respond consciously, to be willing to love someone. There needs to be a willing. I could write down. I'm not going to that myself. That probably would have taken an extra 15 minutes to already have. But if you want me to like break down that definition and like just go deeper and get through out of it, put it in the comments and maybe I'll do it like a bonus video. So all that to say, right? Like love isn't that's not about chemistry. That's not about compatibility. That's not about feeling good when I'm with you. That's about making a choice to respond in a particular way with a conscious assessment about whether this way is in the best interest of everyone. Right? That's leadership. And from this understanding, we can then kind of see how this other piece of what I believe relationships are for, what love and relationships are for, which is growth. Relationships are not they're not somewhere we get to, right? That we get to this place of like good relationships and that's it. But relationships, all of them, but I believe none more poignantly so than our intimate partner relationships. But all relationships are mirrors for us. They reflect back to us who we are, how we affect the world around us. It's simple, right? It's not just individuals, we're all connected. It's just everyone. Relationships help us to see where our shadow parts are, where our rough edges and loved areas and unhealed pieces are. They become catalysts for our growth if we're willing to allow them to. Problems, therefore, are not signs that something's wrong. Problems are portals. Every trigger, every conflict, every moment of tension, every disagreement is a trailhead. It's a little, sign on your path that's saying, hey, look, here's something that may need to be explored. Here's a place we may need to grow. I need to grow. A relationship may need to grow. What happens if you follow it? Let's dig in. No, it doesn't sound like a lot of work. Sure. And if you've got the whole like us piece going well, and which is shift number one, and shift number two, you're in your relational leadership, and now you're coming from a place of real love and recognizing that this is an opportunity, then this kind of trailhead can be exciting, can be expanding. Right? Like guess who you get to be? It's not hard or painful or take a lot of energy. But the thing is that what most people miss is that when you are willing to love like this, to put this energy and investment into revolutionizing the relationship, you make so much progress so fast in shifting things, right? Like there's that initial investment of energy as it happens when you're learning or doing things. All of a sudden, everything else gets easier. This is the path to easy. Seems like it would be hard or a lot of work and making a lot of tension and consciousness and sure. A lot of people would rather choose the path and stay unconscious and just. And I don't mean this in an offensive way, but really play about it. And I don't mean that offensively because truly our brains are all fake. And the funny thing is like we're the laziest with our intimate partners and then maybe next with our kids. Ourselves, throw ourselves in there. We put the least attention and effort into it. If we were trying to do this with a stranger at the grocery store, if we were trying to do this with a client, we would put in the energy. For whatever reason, we don't get that thing. Love. Even when it's inconvenient. Even when it that is what that is the difference. We are love and relationships are a spiritual process, um, and hold a spiritual purpose, but not in a way that like bypasses the hardship that needs to happen, right? This isn't about like, oh, everything happens for a reason and you swallow your truth, or oh, like there. I was talking to a woman the other day who was sharing a story about a family member who was very different in political views. She wanted to just like, well, I just want to be in loving energy and let her be who she be. I was like, what? Maybe that's loving energy, depending upon how you are affected. Because I don't know, I can't decide for them whether that's in the highest growth in spiritual, highest good in spiritual growth of everyone involved for yourself and everything. The thing that just love that thing, like have goodwill and connection with that family member. Or it's actually saying something and just naming like, I'm not trying to change you, but I just want you to know that your beliefs are harmful to me or to people. Or that like I want something different. That that's what my players access new. So there needs to be this willingness to slow down. Why is it conscious response? Slow down. Listen, learn. Follow the trailhead. Being out on the inside. Ask the question. Like what is the next best move I can make that is going to get me to what I designed? And follow eventually with the relationship. I'm gonna ground this in another story. So I worked with a woman, client of mine, whose partner didn't want her to share particular details about her life, about certain activities that she was involved in. Why? Um, he didn't agree that she should be, spending her time with her friends like that, or doing these activities, in her business when she could be doing these other things in her business. And I suspect her stories and her excitement and her joy, a lot of these stories of like joy and happiness, activated some insecurity. Probably made him feel bad about himself because of the contrast he experienced to what he was not getting to do or nevertheless, that was the act, right? Like, don't talk to me about these things. I don't want to hear about them. And initially, because she liked him, she thought that the love it was to respect it. She thought it was a boundary. Like, it was behavior change required. And she wanted to honor it. And to her, that felt loving of him. Felt like she was being supportive and understanding. Here's a question we had to ask. What if that choice being loving to herself? Because remember, the loving thing is going to benefit the highest good and spiritual growth of all involved. Did that choice benefit her and her growth? Was it loving to herself? Did it serve his growth? Did it serve him? Or was it benefit? And the answer was yes. Being understanding and supportive of his act was not love. It was comfort. It was choosing comfort over growth and expansion. No, growth is not comfortable. Our brains don't like growth because we have to like go into unknown. It just is what it is, what it is. There's going to be some level of discomfort and until we go into it's comfortable. And that's like the bubble of our comfort zone just keeps expanding bigger and bigger. If we gently press on the edges of our comfort zone. Growth where you have to like jump like 100 yards outside of your comfort zone. That's way too activating. But yeah, this was not choosing. It was choosing avoidance and self abandonment. Dress up as love. which was part of her pattern. Part of what she learned she was supposed to do was sexually limited. And so as we work together, we break it. And you understand, it's a loving thing for her, for him, and for the relationship she wanted to create, a relationship where her whole self accepted and celebrated and allowed. The loving thing was not to shrink, it was to insist that she be able to show up fully, to say, I love you enough to let you see all of you. I love you enough to trust you with your own growth and to ask you to grow. I love this relationship enough not to protect it from the work that it's asking us to do in order for us both to be happy. So the, the nuance here, and the reason that these other shifts are so important, like layering on as in this conversation with our solution is that how you then do the loving thing matters. Because it's not just choosing it, it's how you choose it, how you implement it. Because just saying, no, I'm going to tell you what I want to tell you. You have to just deal with hearing about all these parts of my life that really make you uncomfortable. Is that in the highest good of spiritual growth? Is that choosing like the path of least resistance or like being willing to put in energy? How you do it too. So here we start looking at like the shift from a universe to a partnership. How can she partner with him around this so he feels successful? So it can be easier for him to do the growth work that she and the relationship is asking him. How can she shift from well the second shift, right? Like the shift from blame to empowered accountability. So how can she not see him as a problem, but rather like see this problem as something that's showing up between them and then lead the change that she wants to see without blaming him or saying, you just gotta go fix yourself, too bad, deal with it. When she was able to do that, the moment was not an attack. It's not engendered as some kind of defensiveness. Right now, now you're moving into compassion, collaboration, leadership, grace, partnership. Okay. Rather than no leadership, we're moving into I want us to succeed. This is what I need. I'm willing to support you, and it's also not that's leadership. What? And when you start to really get this, a lot of real experience don't get to stay small and to fraction. Love asks us to grow. Love asks us to feel and every relationship that we're in, and again, more so than your intimate partner relationships, is going to help you realize where those places are for you to grow and heal and expand and become more of who you have always been, who you are meant to be, right? We get to stop um, giving up these pieces of ourselves. We're no longer choosing appeasement and what I'm looking for. I don't know. It's like not rocking the boat. It's like for kindness. We're not playing the like keep the silence, keep the peace. You're playing the game of having to to see the potential here for you, for me, for us, and to ask them to step into it. And to do so in a way where I am leading my part and I am perfectly feeling this also is really beautiful because what happens in your relationships is you stop experiencing problems as problematic. And sure, they still may be annoying and they can be challenging problems and growing. been going through growing quite a bit lately, and it's still fucking annoying. And you know, when we're in it, it's like, oh, I don't want to. But yeah, there's that awareness. Like this is an opportunity. Like the us that exists on the other side of this, when we have to take it out, when we have learned this, we've gotten so much better than at this. Good. And we're gonna have so much more energy, and we're gonna be able to impact people more, and we're gonna there's gonna be even more ease in our relationships. We're gonna be even happier. And so it's like, like I can't even wait. Yeah, thankful for this growth opportunity. Like, yeah, because it's coming out of the west. That upward spiral, like, feels so much better than what typically happens on relationships, which is the downward spiral, right? Or stagnation, that will trend toward a decline into disconnection and dissatisfaction. That's not what you're there for. That's not why you're in this marriage relationship. And there's a lot better than how we naturally begin to this ongoing growth and expansion. Better and better and better. Right? When we understand that love is essential, um, as a growth thing, relationships are are the catalyst for that growth and expansion. And choosing love is like how we facilitate it. Then humanity heals. Then relationships transform. Then we get to finally unlock what is truly possible through love. And that's, my friends, has been relationships are sacred growth and experience. Problems are our portal. And love is leading growth and expansion. Choosing. If you are part of the relationship evolution community, this is the kind of shifting that we've been through. Not here, but in our bodies and in actual things that we do. So stay tuned for this week's activation. Those of you who are not familiar with the relationship evolution, this is the level beyond just showing up for these conversations and going into real embodiment and living the revolution. Because transformation doesn't happen because we learned it here. Transformation happens when we embody it and apply it to our mind. And that's what members of this community are committed to doing. What I support them in doing. Right? Applying it, reflecting on it, getting coached through it when resistance or struggle comes. And so every week in the community, we take these conversations and I share activations designed to help members go deeper and apply what they're learning to their. So if something here has hit you and you know that you want to create real change, start learning how to love differently, start practicing love in a relationship in a new way, something you choose when you do find good spiritual results, then I would love to see you inside the relationship revolution. It is $147 a month, and so anytime we also have additional benefits like recalls, live, behind the scenes looks at how Helen and I apply these tools and concepts, and bonus tools, resources, and that's our really big thing for 2026, and adding even more value. So now is the time to join. For those of you who are devoted to that ongoing conversation. If you know that you are desiring something even like deeper and more transformational, then I want to invite you to join me for um, live 6-week relationship accelerator. I've previously been calling it Catalyst. I decided I would like to, I'm calling it the one. Because what it is exactly that. It is um, an accelerated program, it's not a flagship program, we call it the one. Um, but it's an accelerated program for like shifting the dynamic, shifting the pattern, and finally creating change. So if you find yourself like really stuck or in kind of heavy or challenging places in your relationship, you are ready for this final change. Not just like do little bits of growth to keep it going, which is really, the TRR community is great for like the ongoing growth and revolution, but if you are ready for like a major shift, a major turn, a major transformation, to be the one accelerator is where you want to be. I'm teaching it live in February, but I would love for you to be there. So probably this may be the only time that I teach it. So if that's something you're interested in, you want more details on the one program, just email me or comment or DM be the one, and I will. Um, that's it for today's unlock and created some clarity around kind of been understanding love. If you want to understand love now, what it really means to love someone, like who that love and relationship is going to be, and what you deserve from others who say they love you. Join me next week for fourth shift on boundaries in relationship restoration. We're going to be talking about I don't know what I had about. Kind. We're going to be talking about uh, shifting from like the how we do what we do, how we do love. Uh, until then, oh yeah, 12:30. Well, that's revolution. The world. I love you.